credit in 10th grade?
No, but you'll learn about it.
Okay.
How about that? Here's this.
Thank you.
I saw this. He's here.
That's probably upper class. That's college. Yes,
Yeah, you can start taking those in junior year. Most people take those.
At what? The FAFSA?
Okay, let's begin. I want to thank you guys for coming tonight and joining us to learn more about AP classes and dual credit here at Springfield Catholic. And we're going to begin tonight in prayer. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, send the Spirit of your Son to remain with us during this meeting. Let him guide us, inspire us to think and speak according to the mind of Jesus. Fill us with your joy and love, and help us to put your plan into practice. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. So today I'm going to talk about dual credit, and I'll be with them for the 4 years that they are here. So if you look at this blue sheet of paper, on one side, these are seated dual credit classes that we offer, mostly for seniors, but public speaking and competitive speech and debate can be juniors. AP English 4 is English 110, Writing and Writing 210. So you will get 6 credit hours through the year if you take AP English 4. Part of the AP English 4 is that you need to have taken AP English 3 to be able to get into AP English 4. College Algebra, it is Math 136, not 236. Sorry about that. That's 3 credit hours for the whole year. Public speaking is 3 credit hours for the semester, and competitive speech and debate is also 3 credit hours for COM 120 for the year. And then those credit hours, to be able to use them for college credit, is that you need to request that transcript to be sent to the college of your choice. On the back of this blue slip is some online dual credit classes that we offer. And at that time, you enroll in a study hall, dual credit study hall, and you may pick any of these classes that you take, and you pay. This is through Drury. And so the cost for Drury's online classes are $270 at this time. And you can take 1 class per semester. Some juniors may try some, And then we definitely have some seniors that take some of those classes through jury. The ones on the other side are all through MSU. It's always a good idea to check what college you'll be attending and to see if they will take these credit hours before you end up enrolling in them. Any questions over dual credit? Okay, thank you.
Based
I'm gonna let-
on your experience, what colleges do you know don't do take it, that traditionally these children might go to?
Sometimes, not any that I know of don't take it, but they might not take it for that class specifically, but they would use it more as an elective. I just know my sons went to Drury and MSU, and all of theirs were taken for those classes at those two institutions. I would think some of the higher colleges that are harder to get into, those might be some of the ones that you have trouble getting them to take some of the dual credit, or they'll use it more for an elective. So Mrs. Jarvis is going to talk to you today about AP classes.
Hi, my name is Christy Jarvis, and I'm the AP Biology teacher here at Springfield Catholic. And this year I'm helping Mrs. Randall and Mrs. Bowles a little with AP classes and streamlining some of our registration process. I just, for our virtual friends, we'll put a link. These are just some common questions we get as teachers, and I know Mrs. Bowles and Mrs. Randall get. So I'm just going to run through these real quick, and feel free to raise your hand if you have any questions. And then after I speak, we're going to let some of our actual core AP teachers give you a little background on their classes and kind of expectations and homework load that would kind of help some of our students make a decision about whether or not to take those classes. So we offer 11 different AP classes, and I have them listed: AP Calculus, AP Physics, AP Chemistry, AP Biology, AP English Language and Composition, which is our senior level class, but then AP English Literature and Composition, which is our junior level class, which is a prerequisite for our senior level class. AP Psychology, AP Computer Science Principles, AP Computer Science A, AP World History Modern, correct, Chris? It's Modern World History. And then finally, AP US History. So if you're a freshman right now, a lot of times at this meeting we have our freshmen, the only two classes that you can take next year are AP World History and AP Computer Science Principles. Your junior and senior year, it opens wide up and you can take everything you want. So a common question, what are the advantages to taking AP classes? Well, the obvious one is just college preparedness. These classes are more rigorous, they're more challenging, and I currently have a daughter here who's a senior, and she would say that she feels more than prepared to take on college next year from taking these AP classes that I just mentioned. And then the potential college credit, and I'll speak about that in just a minute. How much more work are AP classes compared to regular classes? I would have your child go to our teachers directly and talk to them and just ask them, these are my strengths. Do you think I can handle this workload? I would discourage them from basing their decision solely on talking to former students, because they talk to student Jane Doe, and Jane Doe may have been horrible at reading, and you might get a really false impression of the class from talking to a student who's had that. So I really recommend going directly to our teachers and trying to get that feedback. How much more work? It really depends on the teacher and the course. I would tell you in AP Biology, we cover many of the same topics as regular biology. We just go more in depth and we go quicker. Like, for example, tomorrow we're covering DNA replication. It's an entire chapter. We're going to cover it in one day. And that's just because of the pace I have to maintain to get through the curriculum that AP College Board prescribes that I get through. How many AP courses should my child take in high school? This really depends on your child and kind of what their goals are and their aspirations are for the future. There's no set amount. If I were going to definitely recommend 2 courses to take, as much as I love the science, I would definitely have them take the AP English classes that we offer, because writing is so important and so fundamental for college. I will tell you this, and we have, in this current graduating class, we probably have 5 or 6 students who are trying to go to a really elite school. I'm talking like a top 40 school, a Washington University, a Notre Dame, those type of top elite schools. Your child, if that's their goal, they need to max out our AP classes. Now, it may not be possible to take all 11, but they need to be knocking on 9 or 8 or 9 classes. That comes at a high cost. That is a very demanding course load your junior and senior year. It's doable, but they have to know that maybe they won't be going to the Friday night football game because they got to get caught up on their AP classwork for the next week. So if your child has those aspirations, I think that's great. They just need to know what that's going to entail. And the thing is, they can't really wait till their senior year and decide they want to go to one of those schools. It's too late, because by then they're only going to be able to take 4 or 5 AP classes max. I actually have my daughter here tonight who, if any of you students would like to talk to her parents, she has maxed out our AP classes, and she would tell you it was a bit of a stress festival in our home at times, but she would give you probably an honest assessment of what that entailed. So what colleges and universities accept AP credit? To your question, sir, most of the colleges that our kids go to, MSU, Msu, Drury, Rockhurst, they take AP credit. Even so, when you take an AP class, you take a test in May over that course, and you get a score from 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. It kind of depends on the university what score they'll take. Almost all the schools I just mentioned will take a 4 or 5. Many will take a 3, especially in some of the higher maths and higher sciences. But you can Google any university, University of Missouri, AP Biology, and it will tell you exactly what score your child has to receive in order to get credit at that university. Going back to what I was talking about before, those top schools, they're kind of pills. They won't give you much credit at all for those AP tests, but they still want you to take them and show that you've taken them. And I found that out kind of this year. The reasoning is all those top 40 schools, every kid applying has that top ACT score, so it's just one more metric that those schools can use to say, okay, this student can handle the rigor of this university. Okay, last one. How much will my child have to prepare for AP tests outside of class? So I'm talking about the comprehensive test that they take in May. The short answer is they'll have to prepare a lot. If I compare the AP test to the ACT or the SAT, they're really just a test, testing your child's ability to take a test. These AP subject area tests are comprehensive and very difficult. And I have a little hard time as an AP Bio teacher getting my students bought into this. Like, I gave them a study guide. It's February, end of February. I gave them a study guide, breaking it down to 15 minutes a day for the next several weeks. We're at about 12 weeks until they take the AP test. And they kind of looked at me like I had lobsters coming out of my ears. They couldn't believe that I was expecting them to start studying for a test now. But these tests, especially if they're taking more than 1, 2, or 3, they have to put in a little work right now. And our students who do prepare, they do very well. If you don't prepare, there's just no way you can complete these tests and do well on them. The tests are given in May. This year they were $95. That's really all the information I have. Do we have any questions, comments, concerns? Okay, like I said, my daughter's here afterwards. If any of you would like to talk to her about her experience here at Springfield Catholic taking our AP classes, I know she'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions. And right now, I'll introduce Chris Kamey, who's Christopher Crane. Is it Chris or Chris?
Chris is fine.
Chris Kamey, who's representing our Social Studies Department. He teaches AP World History Modern and AP US History. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, folks. I'm Chris Kamey. I teach the AP World History Modern and AP US History. And everything you've been hearing so far about this whole thing is true. It is a challenging class. And these are, I will admit, I think it's a little intimidating that sophomores are going to take a college-level class as sophomores in high school, because that's the thing. When you take these classes, as you know, you get college credit for. You can potentially get this college credit, which means without getting to college, you're going to be in a college class in a high school. Now, what you'll have to do in my class in particular, AP World History, AP US History, is you're going to have to get used to reading a lot. Okay? Reading is something that a lot of kids don't do nowadays because they can just Google all the answers, go to Quizlet, and find everything they want to know. But in truth, the key to succeeding on any of the AP Social Studies tests is familiarity with the content. You need to be on your reading, you need to be paying attention in class, and you got to stay up to date with those skills and developing good study habits. Now, I'll also be kind of speaking just generally about another class that we offer within here as well, as AP Psychology. So, really quick, AP Psychology is another AP class we offer to juniors. Ms. Ella Markham would be giving a presentation on this, but she could not be here tonight, unfortunately. So in AP Psychology, your students will be dealing with systemic scientific study of human behavior and its processes. They'll be studying psychologists, the studies that define the field of psychology, psychological theories, concepts, and phenomena. They'll be employing research methods, studying ethics, employing the scientific method and evaluative skills, and the communication of ideas in order to pursue the field of psychology. Now, as for the history classes, we are going to be talking from AP World, which is the first AP class that your kids can take outside of computer science. We start around 1200 CE. They changed it up a little bit in the last couple of years. It used to be we'd go from ancient caveman days to modern times, but now it's 1200 to modern. We start a little bit behind 1200, just mostly for context, because, Middle Ages come right out of Rome, and if you don't know Rome, you're not going to get any of the stuff that comes after. It's a thing. Now, we essentially study the effects of humans on the environment, the planet, how they develop governments. We study what they do, like building economies, and how interactions in one part of the world can dramatically change stuff in the other. Like, case in point, the Mongols are responsible for the Renaissance. And a large portion of it, it's also what kind of encourages people to start looking towards Asia and kind of the age of exploration. All of it stems back from the Mongols. AP US, it's like world history, but on a smaller scale. We take a look at everything from America's perspective, our little brief, 280 some odd years, or 70 years, give or take. We're looking at how America fits into this equation. We study things like the experiences of Native Americans, the people who came over from Europe, the immigrants and all those folks, how we built our government. We talk about the differences between the Federalists, the Anti-Federalists. We talk about, expanding westward, America finding its place in the world. It really helps if you think of this story and even the story of world history as just humans doing their best and not always succeeding. Now, before I kind of turn things over to the English department, just some quick notes about the AP class you'll be taking as sophomores and juniors. There is a summer reading assignment, and I do assign that every year at the end of the year. There was some miscommunication last year, but, plague. But there is an assignment you get, and you have to pick off the list of books. You will need to read, you'll have to pick a book off the list. There's a couple categories. You can get big historical things. You can get people and cool things, or little bits and bobs from history. You pick one of the books off the list. You keep a reading journal that you will use on the first day of class when you write your essay for said book in class. It is the first assignment you do. It is also worth a lot of points. Now, why do I make it worth a lot of points? So you'll do it. But also because you're reading a big book over your summer vacation. So if you're going to put yourself through that kind of trauma, I want you to at least have a chance to get something out of it. Now, another thing too, outside of the summer assignment, you will also have homework every night. Okay? If your parents ask you, hey, what's your homework? You have homework in my class if you are in my class. You are to be reading your textbook. You are to be going over your notes. Okay? I will be assigning supplemental activities to help kind of foster good test-taking skills. I design all of my in-class tests around the AP exam format, so that way when you get to the test, you're not caught unawares by anything. You'll actually know what you're getting into, what to expect when you get in there. And we can address like certain skills and things as we go forward, like essay writing is a big thing. One skill that you will need to develop, and you should start doing now, is when you make a claim about something, provide evidence to back it up. Because, you know, I don't care that Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. I want to know why he was doing it. That's the important part. Okay? So, if there are any questions, you can contact me through the school website. We have our email addresses up there. And if you have questions, you can contact Mrs. Randall, Mrs. Jarvis, or me. I'll be more than happy to address any questions that you all would have. So, any pressing questions from the audience tonight before I turn things over? All right. Well done. So I'll go ahead and introduce Ms. Julia Ritter-Frizzell. She'll be talking about AP English 3.
Hello all. I am teaching AP English 3. I also happen to teach English 4 and English 3 as well. But for AP English 3, it is also a college level course, but it's more literature based that we have writing as well. And so I do a mismatch of both American and British. Through AP courses, we start off with a summer assignment, since Mr. Kamey talked about that. We also have a summer assignment that usually I'm able to go to the sophomore level classes and discuss what that is. But again, because of the pandemic last year, it was a bit of a struggle this year. And so my students who are going to take AP, they have a list of 4 British books and 3 American books. They have to choose one from each list. Then they have to read the entire books, and they annotate. And I used to do vocabulary, but I've kind of pushed that off to the side because I wanted to concern the student more with this idea of critical thinking. If they've taken AP classes their sophomore year, and pretty much every class, there is an emphasis on critical thinking to a point. I try to drive that point home in AP, that it's no longer just this happened, this happened, this happened, and this happened. That's where you start. That's your baseline. But like Mr. Kamey said, I want to know why. Why did this character do what they did? What was their impetus? And don't tell me that you liked the book or didn't like the book, and this is going to sound really snotty, and I don't mean it that way, but I don't care if you liked it or you didn't like it. What I want to know is what happened within the book that made you have these feelings for these characters or not. So everything we work on, besides just getting ready for the AP test, which AP Central has made it well, let's put it this way. They've allowed us to have more access than I felt like we've had in the past. So even if I'm not using AP Central in my English class, my students have access to resources and video lessons that are on there to kind of supplement everything. So if your child is taking the AP course, they get that as well. And I always try to make that available and also incorporate it. So back to critical thinking. Critical thinking is the baseline for everything that they're going to have to do in college and life. And so with my English course, what I try to do is instill in them that sense of let's go beyond. Instead of just reading something to say, I've done it, what was happening there? Where are the connections? Why do people make these choices? Why did the people in the story make these choices? What can we learn? If it was a moldy oldie from, Shakespeare's time, and yet we're living now in the 21st century, where's the connection? Why do we still read this stuff? And so what I'm trying to get them to do is not only be able to do that when they're reading, but also when they're writing. And this is where the writing skills really kick in. You have to be able to take what you have and find your voice. And this is where we really dig into this idea of audience and purpose. And that way, students aren't writing for me. They are writing for me because I'm a member of the audience. But I'm not the only member of the audience. Because as you know, those of you who have attended college or anything beyond high school, and even some high school courses, you're not just writing for the teacher. You're joining a conversation. And so that's what I'm trying to get them to see and find their own voice. So many times in high school, we compare ourselves to other students. And it's like, no, where are you? What do you have to say? I'm interested in what you have to say, not what some professor or somebody I could read online. How are you interpreting that, and what do you have to say? And so it's kind of, I try to keep a balance between the literature and the writing, because I'm trying to prepare them for the next level, which is, of course, Mrs. Morton's college English class. And so our combined goal in the English department, be it AP or non-AP, is to prepare all children for college, and that means writing. It's just more intense at the AP level, because it is a college class. And so there's a bit of a hurdle. Like I said, that first assignment, the summer assignment, I do the same thing. It's worth quite a few points, but you've read 2 novels. You do a group activity with one, and then you take a test over the other one. And that lets me know where you are in the writing process, so that I can kind of look at everybody and go, okay, we don't need to worry about that because the majority of my students are already here. So now we can go here, and then we're going to go here, and then Mrs. Morton's going to take them all the way up there. So, it is an intense class. I do grade hard, but I keep in mind, the whole point of what I'm doing for you and what you're doing for me is we're learning together and we're growing. But you have to come to these AP classes with a willingness to learn and a willingness to grow. Because we all know certain things at certain times, but we can all learn more. I learn from them just as much as they learn from me, hopefully. Sometimes it's not very balanced. So, in a nutshell, that's AP. Reading, writing, and thinking. And I have a lot of really quiet students this year, so it's like, please tell me what you're thinking. Whereas last year I had a bunch of speech and debate kids, and they told you everything they wanted to know, which was awesome. But all learners are welcome, and if you're willing to put in the work, you will reap the rewards. And I will turn it over to Mrs. Morton.
Well, I guess I'm in front of the camera. I don't really know. Anyway, I'm Mrs. Morton, and I teach English for AP, which is also dual credit with Missouri State. And this class is language and composition. So what I do is Ms. Rita Frizzell prepares juniors with critical reading and writing skills, and then I take you the next step higher so that when you get into college, life won't be so puzzling, I think is what I want to say. To answer your question, sir, I've had, most universities will take the dual credit. I had 2 students at different times, one from SLU and one from Pepperdine, and their professors needed proof that they actually had completed a dual credit class. They came to me, I gave them the necessary papers, and they were both approved. So we're pretty good on everything. First semester, all of us work together, primarily my students, because I hopefully already know how to do these things, to research and write what we call source-supported essays. So we learn to critically research and then incorporate that research into their rhetorical writing. They write expository essays, and I simply tell them, expository just means you're exposing what you know to everybody. We start fairly simply, but then we dive right in. So they have like a solution essay, they have a persuasion, which is their largest, and then at the end of the semester, they compile a portfolio that consists of all of the work that they have done for that first semester. And the primary reason that I do that is to let the students see how much work that they have actually completed. And I also, because I always ask them, how do you feel about it? And they feel that they have matured as writers, which is what this is all about, because we want them to succeed in college. right? Second semester is a little bit different. Writing 1 is first semester, writing 2 is second semester, and so I read the policy statement that Missouri State asks me to read. My first semester is my own. And the word discipline comes up several different times. And so they do learn at least to practice writing within a variety of disciplines. So we work with journalism, we work with business, because I figure, even if some of the students don't go out into the big academic world, they still have to learn how to write. They have to be understood in the business world. So we work with that. We also work in conjunction with Missouri State's public affairs. So our first project is civic-based, and then they give oral presentations and write a business proposal. Second one is we move out to national, and we work with civil rights, etc. And then the final one, they have other ones in there. And the final one I'm not going to announce right now because one of my students is here, and I don't want that student to know what it is. It's a fun one. Anyway, I've been teaching this for a very long time. And so if you have any questions at all, please feel free to email me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Msu Math, and I am representing the math department. I teach both a dual credit class and an AP class. A word about the AP class to start off with. It is AP Calculus and typically taken your senior year. So in order to take that your senior year, you'll have to do some planning early. Freshmen will take Algebra 1, but then at the sophomore level, you'll need to double up math classes and take both Geometry and Algebra 2. And then that leads to the prerequisite of pre-calculus your junior year, and then AP Calculus your senior year. AP Calculus is a Calc 1 class, and so when you go to college, it will be your Calc 1 credit. We've had students take the AP class and then take the test and get credit, but something that you are going to want to check is that your college may want you to take their AP or their Calc 1 class. And so while they may accept the credit, it may just be an elective credit because they see that you've taken the AP Calc, but they still want you to take their Calc 1 class. And so that's something that you'll need to explore as you find out or decide where you want to go to school. As you sign up to take the AP Calc test, it is the AB test that you will be taking. And like I said, it is a rigorous class. We go through limits, derivatives, and integrals, and use the AP Classroom and AP Central to prepare students for whatever it is they have in that future. Now, the dual credit class is college algebra, and that's what we call it here on campus. It's in conjunction with MSU, and so on the MSU campus, Math 136 is Pre-Calc A. There are two pre-calc classes on their campus. There's an A and a B. One is algebraic based, which is what we have. The other is trig based. Now, the dual credit college algebra class will count as a class that you can take as a prerequisite to pre-calculus or trig on the campus. So anyone doing the medicine, the science, the engineering, our college algebra class will count towards that type of major. The dual credit class also is taken your senior year. You do not have to double up a math class as a sophomore. You can take Algebra 1 as a freshman, Geometry as a sophomore, and then Algebra 2 as a junior, and take your dual credit class as a senior. However, if you do double up, you can still take college algebra dual credit as a senior coming out of pre-calc. So you have that choice your senior year. The math class on campus, the Math 136, it does require that you have a certain GPA. And in the past, there is also an ACT requirement. It's been a 22 on the math composite or an acceptable score on their placement test, which is usually given in August. Currently, that ACT score is being waived, but it may come back, so just know that there is that prerequisite in place. The other thing is you will be required to take the MSU Math Final. It's given here, but it is something that they write and administer and grade. So that becomes a requirement for the class. It is a 3-hour credit, but it is a class that's taken over the full year. It is not a semester class, so you will take that over the full year. And I think that's all. Are there any questions that I can answer for anyone? Okay, so I'll turn it back over to Mrs. Jarvis.
Me? Oh, one second. Oh, yes. Mrs. Morton wanted me to mention that you do have summer work for AP English 4. In fact, I think all of our AP classes have summer work. Yay! I realized after I sat down, I didn't really mention anything about what I taught. I teach AP Biology, so your junior year, you can take regular biology or AP Biology. And the advantage of taking AP Biology is it kind of opens up your schedule because you can take biology and then AP Biology, but it gives you a little more options. I have a mix of juniors and seniors, about 50-50. It's a lab-based class. Like they've said, COVID has changed some of those things this year, but we do some really cool labs. We breed fruit flies and do some genetic recombination and electrophoresis and PCR and some very cool things. We also next year are offering AP Physics and AP Chemistry. I'm very excited about that. I do want to say if your child's considering pre-med at all, I would really have them take either AP Bio or AP Chem to just make sure that's something they're really interested in. I'm actually going to conclude tonight with letting my daughter speak because Miss Sweeney, our computer science teacher, could not be here tonight due to burst pipes. And my daughter has had both of her classes, and I just wanted her to give you a 2-minute overview. Thank you for coming tonight. We'll be milling around if you have any questions. And please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are here for you. You are very blessed to have this many offerings at such a small school. So, Erin, take it away.
All right, so Mrs. Sweeney teaches 2 AP Computer Science classes. The first is called AP Computer Science Principles, and it can be taken as early as your sophomore year. If you don't take it your sophomore year, you can still take it junior and senior year. So that class, the first semester, talks a lot about like technology in general and how that's an expanding field, and you just talk about a lot about like how technology has expanded kind of over the past few decades and how it could possibly expand. And then the second semester, you learn to code using the Python programming language, which is a good introductory programming language. AP Computer Science Principles is then a prerequisite for AP Computer Science A, which you can take in your junior or senior year once you've completed principles. AP Computer Science A is just a coding class, so you learn Java, which is a bit more of an advanced coding language. Yeah, that's computer science.
Thank you guys for coming. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to call or send us an email. If I don't know the answer, I will try to get it back to you as soon as possible. Okay?